Dr. S.A. Weiss, consultant dermatologist from Teaching Hospital Ragama. He's going to enlighten us on comorbidity in psoriasis. So it's my pleasure to invite Dr. Weiss to the podium.
I'm going to talk on the comorbidities in psoriasis for a couple of minutes. This picture shows actually the psoriasis of a tree. So just for an introduction of psoriasis, as everybody knows, psoriasis is a chronic inflammatory, non-contagious autoimmune disease. It's commonly present as a scaly plaque lesions in various parts of the body. The prevalent rates varies between 0.09 to 11.4% worldwide, but in developed countries, they say it's 1.5 to 5% according to WHO. Pathogenesis of psoriasis is multifactorial. And the age group, it shows the bimodal age onset, 16 to 22 years in one peak, and the other peaks in 57 to 60 years, but it can affect any age group. It affects men and women equally, regardless of ethnic origin. So we must know what is comorbidity. As a definition wise, it's a one or more additional conditions co-occurring with the primary conditions. Comorbidities in psoriasis classified as the physical comorbidities and the psychosocial comorbidities. Usually the moderate to severe psoriasis has a high risk of developing comorbidities. The comorbid disease first observed in 1897 by Strauss. He noted the psoriasis, diabetes associated with psoriasis. These are the common comorbidities in psoriasis. Out of these, psychosocial comorbidities far more important when comparing the others as well. Right. So we'll move on to the pathogenesis of psoriasis and the comorbidities. Skin barrier function also play a role in psoriasis, like eczema, atopic eczema. Defects in epidermal barrier associated with increased risk of psoriasis by altering the immune responses in the epidermis of the skin. And T helper cells like Th1, Th2, Th17 signaling pathways, another adaptive immunity with the CD8 T cells, and innate immunity also play a vital role in the pathogenesis. The TNF alpha is the main key inflammatory, pro-inflammatory cytokines that play a major role in the psoriasis and comorbidities. So it's associated with psoriasis and psoriatic arthritis and many other comorbidities it involves. Interleukins 12, 23, 17, 21 interferon gamma is associated with psoriasis and the Crohn's disease. And the genetic predispositions is there, mainly the HLA-CW6, B27, both involving the psoriasis and psoriatic arthritis. Another psoriatic genes like SOS gene 234 also associated with the susceptibility of the metabolic syndrome, type 2 diabetes, and cardiovascular complication and hyperlipidemia in psoriasis. The psychosocial comorbidities, mainly the anxiety, depression, poor self-esteem, sexual dysfunction, and suicidal ideas are the common among the psychosocial comorbidities. Psychosocial comorbidity is very important because it plays a major role in the management part. Because the patients with the psychosocial comorbidities, the perception of the disease condition or the severity is less in those people, so they don't come for the treatment or they ignore the treatment. So it plays a major role in the management part of the psoriasis. Depression and suicidal ideas relatively more common with severe and extensive psoriasis. High prevalence of smoking and alcohol consumption is noted in many patients. Alcohol actually it induces pro-inflammatory cytokines, which induces psoriasis and few comorbidities in that. In the same way, the alcohol causes hepatitis and cirrhosis with these rheumatic patients. Psychosocial comorbidities may lead to a poor treatment, as I told you before, and it's worsening the disease conditions. To move on to the metabolic syndrome. Metabolic syndrome, it encompasses obesity, hyperlipidemia, insulin resistance, and hypertension. It's higher in women than men with psoriasis. Several studies shows psoriasis is associated with atherogenic dyslipidemia. That is a very important part here. Patient with psoriasis shows increased risk of diabetes mellitus compared with the normal control. We get the insulin resistance in psoriasis. This mainly by the adipocytokines. These cytokines secreted by the adipocytes. These are pro-inflammatory cytokines such as TNF-alpha, interleukin 6, 1, and resistin, RBP4, that is the retinol binding protein 4, which antagonize the action of the insulin in the peripheral tissue. That's why it causes insulin resistance. Abdominal obesity, particularly the visceral obesity, is more common in metabolic syndrome with psoriasis. Visceral obesity is a risk factor for cardiovascular complication in metabolic syndrome. The other cytokines secreted by the adipocytes, there's anti-inflammatory cytokines like adiponectin and leptins. This opposes the insulin resistance and reduces the inflammation. Actually, in obesity, particularly the visceral obesity in psoriasis, level of adiponectin and the leptins are reduced. So, it increases the insulin resistance and inflammations, systemic inflammation going on in psoriasis. High level of T1 expressive factor alpha, interleukin 6, pro-inflammatory adipocytokine, increase the risk of insulin resistance and cardiovascular complications and flare-up of psoriasis. So actually the pro-inflammatory cytokines, particularly secreted by the adipocytokinins, is important part in the comorbidities and the aggravation of psoriasis. And foods contain the free fatty acids activate toll-like receptor 4 in the adipocytes, and this also increases the insulin resistance. There's a concept called psoriatic march that actually is a hypothesis proposed by Bonke et al. Suggests that chronic inflammation going on in psoriasis may lead to insulin resistance and CVS comorbidities. Then the cardiovascular complications. Actually, the severe psoriasis is associated with the cardiovascular risk, mainly due to atherosclerosis of the blood vessels. Pro-inflammatory cytokine, I told you before, the TNF-alpha, interferon gamma play a major role in developing the atherosclerosis in the blood vessels. And there is another cytokines like osteopontin. It's produced by the bone matrix. It's an inflammatory glycoprotein acting like a Th1 cytokine, also play a part in producing atherosclerosis in psoriasis. Actually, the osteopontin level is elevated in moderate to severe psoriasis. This, as you all know, the atherosclerosis leads to the myocardial infarctions, cerebrovascular disease, peripheral vascular disease, and so on. And liver and the GI comorbidities, the non-alcoholic fatty liver disease called NAFLD, and the non-alcoholic hepatitis called NASH found greater in number in patients with psoriasis. The fatty liver is going to the NASH, that is the non-alcoholic steatohepatitis, then move on to cirrhosis and hepatocellular carcinoma. The patient with the fatty liver and the psoriasis are more likely to have metabolic syndrome and diabetes mellitus in various studies. Patients with the fatty liver have a high risk of methotrexate-induced hepatotoxicity. In management of patients of the psoriasis, so we had to assess the patient to exclude the fatty liver because almost many patients may be having that. So in those patients, in that if we do the HGPT, ALT, SOT level, that may be normal in that patient. So if we start with the methotrexate, this induces the hepatotoxicity in this type of patients. Association of psoriasis and the inflammatory bowel diseases such as Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis is there. Psoriasis and Crohn's disease are mediated by Th1 cytokines like TNF-alpha, interferon gamma. So Binus et al. Found the patient with psoriasis and inflammatory bowel disease had a higher number of autoimmune thyroiditis, hepatitis, diabetes mellitus, and seronegative arthritis. These are the few associations with that. A recent study shows prevalence of celiac disease in patients with psoriasis significantly higher than the normal control. One study, the Swedish study, shows it's they did a study on 401 patients, shows many patients are getting psoriasis. Showed the individual with the celiac disease were in higher risk of getting psoriasis. And psoriasis and chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, that is COPD, this is also associated. One Taiwan study shows the psoriasis patients were at a higher risk, greater risk to develop COPD. Smoking may be contributory factor both in psoriasis and the COPD. Again, inflammatory mediators like interleukin 1, interleukin 6, 8, and interferon TNF-alpha may play a role in the pathogenesis of both conditions. Eye and psoriasis. Inflammatory ocular conditions may be associated with psoriasis like uveitis, keratoconjunctivitis sicca, found to be associated with psoriasis. Psoriasis and cancer. Cancer risk is elevated in severe psoriasis cases. Patients who had systemic therapy for psoriasis showed high incidence of non-melanoma skin malignancies and lymphoproliferative disorders. Systemic PUA is associated with a higher risk on non-melanoma like skin cancers, but they say the bath PUA is not much associated. I don't know why. Psoriasis patients over the 65 years have threefold increase in lymphoma. Other malignancies associated with psoriasis are carcinoma of the oral cavity, pharynx, carcinoma esophagus, carcinoma of the lung, liver, kidney, bladder, breast, and mycosis fungoides as well. So there may be association with psoriasis and the mycosis fungoides. And chronic kidney disease, CKD, they call it as psoriatic nephropathy. Many studies shows, the various studies, Swedish cohort study and UK cohort study, they done in 2013, and then another Taiwan study also revealed that psoriasis were associated with 2-3-fold increase in the risk of CKD. And infections, association with psoriasis and the streptococcal infection, we know there is association. This may be considered as etiology or maybe, yes. And the psoriasis may be associated with the increased risk of infections like respiratory tract infections and skin infections. Then we'll come to the management of psoriasis with comorbidities. So the treatment options should be considered according to the comorbidities associated with that time, because the comorbidity may be aggravated by the drugs we are treating with the patient. For example, acetylcholine, if you want to treat the psoriasis, that negatively influence the dyslipidemia. So it worsens the hyperlipidemia. And cyclosporine again, it may increase the hypertension and worsen the cardiovascular complications. Methotrexate actually, they may induce hepatotoxicity in patient with the fatty liver and consumption of alcohol. So methotrexate may appear to reduce the myocardial infarction associated with the psoriasis. That is the beneficial effect of that, and the bad effect is the increase the hepatotoxicity. Natural sunlight or the UV phototherapy used to treat the psoriasis induces immunosuppressions and increases vitamin D metabolites. So it also reduces the risk of developing atherosclerosis in patient with psoriasis. So it's a beneficial effects of vitamin D metabolites synthesized that can suppress the psoriasis and immunosuppression, and it reduces the atherosclerosis. Statin used in the control the hyperlipidemia in patient with psoriasis inhibit formation of inflammatory cytokines and reduce the serious complications according to serious complication. According to one study, they say statin reduces the annual incidence of stroke approximately by 30%. So statin doing a good job in that. And the TNF-alpha inhibitors counteract the insulin resistance and demonstrate protective effects against diabetes mellitus and CV cardiovascular comorbidities. So TNF-alpha inhibitors like a biology we use to treat psoriasis is more useful in controlling the comorbidities as well. Screening patient with psoriasis to detect comorbidities early is recommended. That should be done in each and every patient. And American Heart Association recommend screening for CV risk as early as at the age of 20. After the age of 40, pulse, blood pressure, total cholesterol level, fasting blood sugar should be screened every 2 years. Cessation of smoking, moderating alcohol intake, and regular exercise also recommended in the management. Awareness of the comorbidities with psoriasis is very important in the management of psoriasis. So it's a management of psoriasis, not a single man treatment management, but it is a multidisciplinary approach with the coordinations between the dermatologist and the other specialists is warranted in managing in this patient with psoriasis, as it shows a systemic nature of inflammations. So the take-home message, psoriasis is not a single disease. It accompanies with many and many diseases. These are my two main references. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice, for that very informative lecture. So we have enough time for a few questions.
Thank you. You mentioned about psoriasis and skin infections. Psoriasis and skin infections. I can remember that why psoriasis lesions are not getting infected is because of some antimicrobial property, isn't it? But does it, was there a reference regarding this skin infection?
The reference they say, but they say in the particular reference I did, they didn't say the reason. They didn't reason out why the infections are there. They say the skin infections, when comparing to other patients, they can get more skin infection. It may be due to some immunological.
Psoriatic lesions themselves do not get infected.
Yeah.
Have you know?
That's true.
Yes. And I remember reading about these antimicrobial peptides in the lesions. Yes, why not you tell about it?
Because the the keratinocytes secrete these antimicrobial peptides,
Yeah.
cathelicidin and beta-hexidine, those things. So that is why, now compared to the eczema lesions, eczema always get secondary infected. But psoriatic lesions, though the barrier is breached very much, they are hardly ever infected. That is why that description is given. So I don't know why this.
Yeah,
reference.
because they say that not only the skin infection, but that they say the respiratory tract infection as well is comparatively is more with the patient with psoriasis.
It may be worthwhile checking that reference and whether there are any cross-references.
Yeah, I checked that, madam, but they didn't go into very much detail in that reference about this. So they just mentioned this. I searched also because couldn't get the real evidence for that, but they that's why I just mentioned that. Yes, they give the name also, that psoriatic nephropathy for that conditions. Because the psoriatic arthritis I didn't do with this because that is well known, so that is also part of the comorbidities. Psoriatic arthritis is a different, it's a big topic, so that it included in there. Sorry?
Even methotrexate can damage the kidneys in some patients. no?
Yeah.
Already.
Yeah, thank you, Vice, for that excellent presentation. Please accept your certificate of appreciation.